Okay, this should be online now. Refresh the page. I am live. So it says. Yeah. So what this is showing is about half a minute behind. But it's all working. Test it on the phone itself, shall I? Make sure this all works. Should come up with that I'm live streaming. There we go. So I'll be able to see comments and whatnot on the phone. Oh dear, don't want this to loop background. So pause that. It says what I'm watching, that's probably me. And I've gone on another one of my videos, annoyingly. And I'm talking over myself. Anyway, so this is what I'm doing for Christmas. It's not much, and I kind of forgot. And now I'm doing it too late. Oh dear. Anyway, just play some random games. Got live chat up there. Try and turn my brightness up so I can see if anyone does post a comment. Because I don't have dual monitors at the moment. This is the best I'm going to be able to do. I have a cheapo phone, a £35 Android phone to work with. There we go. OBS, it's all working now. Got my wheel, got my shifter, got my microphone just up here. You won't see it, but you'll kind of see the bracket it's mounted up onto. Sorry about that bump. Now I'm going to just play some Forza. Let's see. With my controller, actually. Show this. I think my Logitech camera's got it. Anyway, this is what I use to drive with an Xbox 360 controller. And I'm sorry about that. It's outputting audio to my speakers, my Packard Bell speakers. Speakers so hopeless, they actually need a kind of headphone amp thing plugging into the USB for me to actually get any volume out of them. Still, nonetheless. Any comments yet? Probably not. Just started up the live stream, so stuff will be slow with a channel as small as mine. But anyway, let's get that screen off. Let's get this down. I think we can play some automation. I'll build something up and then again, don't isolate it. It's a program I use all the time. Why would I want it isolating? And there would have been an exception. No, just quit and then try and start it. There's an exception of one time I try and film. Or stream, isn't there? Note for AMD users. The current graphics drivers are incompatible. Not that I'm having a problem with it. Mine seem to work fine. Even though I've got quite a modern graphics card. Still, you know, maybe I just got lucky. Because I use this all the time. If it was broken on my AMD stuff, then I don't know what I'd say. Where is YouTube? Can check my comments through here. We'll have, hopefully, to play this eventually when it loads up. Play with my shifter in the meantime, get a feel for this. Nope. Apparently I don't know how to find third gear. No, fourth gear. And I don't even know it's fourth gear. How much of a failure is that? So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. Not 1, 2, 3, 4. Or something. Whatever I was thinking. Anyway, I'm getting distracted. Come on. Minimize you. Minimize you. That's tiny because my display is running at 4K. Even though it's not a 4K display, I do that to record with. It is FreeSync though, which is far, far more important in this particular scenario. Just in making sure I can keep the frame rates up. So I can actually record 4K for the future, really. So when people watch these videos 5-10 years from now, it won't look too horrible. That's just the trade-off I make, though. Because I know how much of a nightmare upscaling can be if you are watching low-resolution content from 2006 or whenever on YouTube. It can look horrible. I guess it's a nightmare made worse, though, by the fact that there was no pixels to begin with. When you're talking about 1080p and 4K, it's not too bad since the pixels are exactly divisible by each other. I'm getting really nerdy now, I know, but 4K basically is an exact 4 times screen ratio of 1080p, so every 1 pixel just becomes 4, and it is still, in a weird way, kind of native, but going from 1024 by 768 to 1280 by 1024 is going to stretch in a weird way, in a way that you just don't get on, like, I don't know, 540 is it to 1080p or 1080 to 4K. Anyway, come on. This is where we will go. It's also 1366 by 768. The resolution that's not very good. You scale on virtually every resolution that's not 1080p, yet you still don't get the full quality of 1080p. And we need to load. I actually had a laptop once with a 1366 by 768 screen. It was not great. It was a terrible, cheapo, glossy unit, probably twisted pneumatic. But the processor was monstrous. The rest of the laptop was cheap, but the processor was brilliant. Still managed to get, I don't know what, a lot of my money back from that laptop. I don't know why it's taking so long to load. There we are. And I don't know why it was loading in such a small window either. And I don't know what that warning said that came up. Yeah, look at the frames per second now have flown up, although I'm only streaming at 30 FPS, so, you know, resolution scale 150% for all I care. It's gonna look better. In fact, if I've got my little remote here, make sure my fans are set to the auto mode. I can't really hear them. You see, the concern I've got is, if I can't hear the fans, are they really cooling it? I'm sorry about that volume thing coming up. That is just my headphones. I've got kind of touch sensitive buttons on the side, which you'd think is quite fancy, even though they're only £7. So not expensive. I don't want to hit exit game. Let's just make a sandbox thing. You know what? I have no idea what I'm going to create today. As is sometimes the case. I'm just going to come in and create something. And if I get any comments saying what I should turn it into, perhaps, maybe I'll try and do that. Bring the live chat up. So I've still not got any comments, as far as I'm seeing it. Either there's something wrong with it, or, again, I've just not got any viewers. Which is perfectly fine. I don't mind. It's really more just an easy Christmas thing I can do. I can make a stream, people can join whenever they want to join, or go away when they want to go away. And then that will all be well and good. I'm just thinking about what's the copyright on this picture? Oh, I drew it. Yeah. Literally drew it on a old ThinkPad. Kind of tablet thing. It was one of the old tablets they based off of the laptops. I think I'll make a retro sports car based on like a 50s body or something, but with modern componentry. That should be quite good fun. Now, what is it down here? Ooh, they look interesting, to say the least. 1980 convertible body. Yeah, you know what? Let's go and choose a weird 1980 coupe. Because this is what we're going to use, yeah. And make it fiberglass. I don't know. I'm probably going to build a Corvette, but with a BMW Z3 body. And the chassis from a Mondeo or something. I don't know. Anyway, semi-space frame. Is this going to be worth a try? We can go maybe with McPherson's strut on the front. No, we can't. Not on semi-space frame. So we'll have to go with a unitary if we want struts on the front. It's only giving me the option for double wishbone, which is strange. I do not know what's causing this. So, semi-space frame. How about ladder? I think it's this body. And I can't go and put struts on the front. Disappointing. Now I have to change the body because that's not the front suspension I want. I know technically double wishbone is better, but I don't just want it to be the best of everything. It has to have some compromise to it, or else there's no fun in building it. Ooh, 77. Oh yes, an old Citroen. Yeah, let's build a Hydrof pneumatic sports car. That's something you don't see every day. Semi-space frame. We'll build it to be front transverse. McPherson strut on the front. And let's actually build it back in, like, back to be period correct. So when is this body from? Let's see. I'm thinking 1974 I want this car to be from. But I don't know if I will be able to. So where is the oh. So we've got a double-decker bus we could build. Not quite what I was intending to build, but you know. This is possibly going to take all kinds of turns by the time I'm done with it. Ooh. I'm just seeing all these weird things I've downloaded that I can mess with, and I don't know if I want to mess with them or not. So that is a 77 body. I guess we're going to have to build a 77 then. Close enough to what I wanted to build. And we'll build it out of... French cars used to rust. So let's build it out of a standard steel. We'll galvanise the underside of it, but only the underside. And we'll build front transverse, yes, as I was doing before. Solid axle coil on the back. No, it's a front wheel drive. So is there a point when we can just go torsion beam? I did build a Clio type thing and it wasn't that good. That video won't be out, but I did build that and it understeered on torsion beam. And has this changed a bit from what I recognise? Select existing engine. No. Too many engines for me to sort through. New engine project. We'll make a new engine project. There we go. Just double check my camera is still pointing correctly, as so it should be. If it isn't, then I might cry and question my entire live stream. So, Yep, it seems to be pointing where it's supposed to be pointing. And I wonder if we could go front wheel drive but longitudinal with a boxer engine. That should be quite amusing actually, so I think I will do that. Even though front longitudinal is more something Audi would do. My company's weird, okay? We do weird things. I think direct acting overhead cam with full cast iron engine up front. Poor weight balance. You are going to cry. Maybe we could go with a V6 even if we want to hang even more weight off the front of this. Yeah, you know what? It fits a V6. So we are going to go with a V6. Could even go with a 90-degree V6, which is the most difficult thing to fit in all the French quirkiness of this vehicle. Yes. You must have a 90-degree 3-litre V6. Although it doesn't like the length of it one bit. Mind it isn't too full. The length is worrying if it's a front wheel drive, as is the width, but it doesn't mind it too much. So that's actually surprising. We can go with a full cast internals, a cast of internals which are all just cast. Let's make it turbocharged. Let's make it an early turbocharged vehicle. Set up for fuel economy, because this is not going to be quick, not even by 1977 standards. Let's go with a carburetted economy engine. No, carburetted turbocharged economy engine. I mean, sounds like an interesting thing, more or less, doesn't it? Ooh, that's crazy. It's a crazy contraption, and it just sits hanging over those front wheels. Dual exhaust, sure, it is longitudinal, so we can just have the exhaust running right out back. Am I building a Cadillac combined with a French car? I think I am. I think it is a Cadillac combined with a French car. it's the Citronac, or whatever you'd call it. Oh dear, the wibbly wobbly power band. It's like this is the power band that's had a bit too much alcohol at Christmas. Yeah, and it doesn't feel too good. It doesn't feel good inside, let's say. Too much Christmas pudding and alcohol. And the power band is just feeling a bit ill. It's like, come on, look at it. It's like... It's just like... Should I make a stable power bit? No. It's stable here. Very, very stable there. But the rest of it's just wibbly and wobbly. Very, very wibbly and wobbly. How about adjusting the exhaust diameter? Nope, it's too narrow. We can adjust that and get more power. But we don't want it to be too big, or it'll be too heavy. I'm going to come back to this, don't worry. It'll be a bit smoother and a bit less laggy, basically. The torque is solid though. 226 torques is not bad. I guess it's a bigger engine, but even so. What's the weirdest shape I can go with? This is where the Frenchness will really show. The estate is quite weird looking. That's fairly normal. Oh, two-door estate. I think that's a bit too weird. Yeah. I mean, they're all boats. But some boats are weirder than other boats. I want the normal doored estate, this one. Oh, I can bring back loads. And then I could maybe bring the front back. No, I can't. I can't change that. Some things I just can't really change about this body, I guess. Ooh, what's that? That is... Oh dear, that is scary. What have I done to the side of this car? And I need to check for different colours and check for suggestions. See if I have any on the chat. Well, I only have myself watching, so probably not. Anyway, that is a nice blue colour to start off with. I think I know what lights I can go with already, actually. I would normally wait a bit to build the design, but who cares, quite frankly. I'm building this differently. This is not my usual type of car build. That's for sure. I actually like having such a square body to work with. It's just nice. I mean, nothing is quite as difficult to work into place as it is on a really curvy body. We'll go longitudinal front wheel drive, manual, auto. No, we'll go auto 4-speed because it's a boat. That's what we need on a boat. Thing is, the suspension I don't think is that good, is it? Oh, the suspension has changed to double wishbone on the back because we've gone longitudinal. I don't want that. I want fairly primitive, simplistic suspension. So, solid axle coil. I don't want leaves. I'm not going that mean, but I don't want it to be fancy either. We'll go with... Would we go with radials? I think we would. 1977. I think we're in radial era out now. How about 175s? 175s. There we go. Alloy wheels. 16s, are they? No, 15s. Wait, why did I put alloys? Steels. Steelies or alloys or whatever. Oh, I don't know. Would alloys be too expensive in the 70s? I think they might be, yeah. I think steel would be more typical of a 70s car. And we can go with them, maybe. Yeah, Treve? What does Treve mean? Try these. I was intending to say. We could go with drums, front and rear, especially since they're hidden behind those hubcaps. There is disc brakes around, but we might not need them. And why bother putting all that expense in if you just don't need them? Why on earth this is a 2-seater though is beyond me. We can go with another seat than we need, so that is 8 seats. It's an 8-seater estate, sure. Or we could go with a 7-seater estate. Sure, we could also go with a 7-seater estate. And we want a premium. This is the French equivalent of a Cadillac. Even if it's not very good, it's still the French equivalent. It's going to be hydraulic. It's going to be a whole hydro-pneumatic system. Standard 70s safety for the time being. I may improve that. Those lights are fitting. It's like it's got a little mouth as well, with a turbo intercooler. Hydro-pneumatic. Comfort. Utility Sport Premium. I like how I put comfort suspension on it. And the first thing it does, it goes to a more sporty category. Got to lower that though because it's far too high off the ground as it is. That looks about right. How has it affected that? Not too much. Let's see what I can do with the suspension. Leafs I could go with. They're going to hurt it, as I would have expected. They help, but they take up performance.
Were you in the middle of doing something with Henry's PC? I can't shut it down. Need to shut your curtains down at night.
Okay, so let's see what I can do. Not going mid-transverse. Semi-trailing arm. You like that? More than you like the double wishbone on the front. Oh goodness, they really do like... They like having a double wishbone all around. But I can't just put it all around, it'll cost too much. You're only getting double wishbone on the front. That's about as far as I will go. Trying to save money here, okay, on your luxury car. The weight balance is somehow pretty good, actually. As is the weight itself, I'm surprised. If I get this to be fairly powerful, it might not even corner half bad. So 109.4, nope. They do not like having the under tray changed. I won't bother then. I was trying to be nice to you. But why would you do this to me? Phonograph is better on the markets and better for the price. So I'm going to just put a phonograph in. If that's what they really want. The premium interior is the best interior for this job. How about the safety? Apparently the price is better there as well, but I think it's just that they find advanced safety to be worth the extra money. So they don't mind paying for it. And what have we got if we put comfort suspension on and lower it again? We've got family premium. Does pretty well with this vehicle. Which, can I blame them? It is a premium family vehicle. But that track is too narrow. That is too much like a Cadillac. I mean, if I want this to get round corners, I'm going to have to widen that. Try and make it more of a European handling experience, let's say. I don't need wide tyres because it's still not going to be a powerful vehicle, even for the 70s. But I'm going to need it to be a simple job of handling. I don't even know. But still. Gonna need it to have good componentry. So what have we got to do to try and fix these control issues, let's say? Come on. I'm gonna try and make you slightly less drunk so you don't embarrass the whole automotive range of my company. Because we wouldn't want that, would we? Ooh dear. Losing all the power. If I go up to 4200, yes, I've basically built a diesel here. It is not the fastest production car though. Far from it. I just wish I could make this wibble wobble go, because it's quite drastically terrible. Mind the market doesn't mind as long as it's economical. And where are we here? We could turn the boost up. I think I could probably go to say 940. See if I'm able to adjust that. Yep. And indeed, having the what do you call it, boost adjusted has indeed made it a bit nicer on the power level, but still, even though I'm making enough power, the way it makes the power, it just wobbles all over the place, and I'm not confident in that. I like how it does just use the boost as opposed to using huge turbos, but there's only so far you can go. £106 horsepower. Oh dear. 171? Yeah, it's slightly increased it. What can I do? Is it just the eco carburetors? Maybe that's it. Maybe if I go to single barrel, or maybe if I go to fuel injection. No, I really don't know what's triggering this. As you'll see, I've got some power, and the power isn't delivered in such a sense it's truly horrendous or anything. The power does have a curve, even if there is far more lag than there ought to be for such an underpowered engine. It still is making its way. So let's hear it. I think if it has a reverse flow muffler, I didn't think it was that loud, to be honest, but it is supposed to be a premium car, so they do like it, even if it does reduce the value of the car. They do actually like having the mufflers. I know it's making enough power now, though, because the torque's incredible. The delivery, though. The delivery is quite something. Huge amount of lag and then power. But I don't want to rev it higher because I want to keep the low revving kind of... How would I say it? I want to keep the low revving performance in terms of economy. How much economy has it got? Oh. It's worse than running at high revving. Now, anyone commenting on my terrible attempt at an engine? I wonder. No. Yay, I don't feel offended. Well, you can't be offended when you lock yourself in a room alone. But then, that has its own disadvantages too. I think I just need to change the engine. I might. Yeah, I'm just thinking, I know, I'll build a North Star. No, that's not a good idea, regardless of what country you're from. It's like saying, I'm going to build a K-Series 4-cylinder. Why would you replicate one of the most unreliable engines known to man? And where was I? I could go with a transverse inline 6. That would be weird. Would indeed. So how about if I go front transverse, torsion beam. They do like double wishbone. It has to be said. I think I can get McPherson strut working on the front though. I think it's just the way it's set up, which is why it jumps down so much. I'll have to try this, since there isn't that much difference between McPherson strut and double wishbone. Double wishbone is just an improved version of the same technology. And, you know, since this is not a performance car in any respect, it might be the way to go. How about I would say how about a V8 that powers the front wheels? The Americans do that though, that's the trouble. I could go with a longitudinal inline 4. And that doesn't really fit. Okay. This fits not very well, but if I go with like a square 2 litre, the squaredness of it will help it fit. It will help it fit. Again, it won't like it, but it will do it. Do 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 do. Ah dear. That is a tight squeeze. My mind just says mount it transversely. I could probably even mount something more interesting transversely, to be honest. Yeah, look at that. Easy. V6 or V8. Let's go. It's cast iron and front wheel drive. We need a V8. How big should it be? I'm going full on American now. How is this filling the car though? I don't see it personally. Let's go with a 6 litre V8. It's going to have to be pushrod though. We're going to have to save money. So maybe not quite Cadillac levels of refinement. But I don't know, maybe Cadillac was using pushrod back then. Cadillac definitely used front wheel drive for such a long time, which is, it sounds weird because they're supposed to be big American powerful cars, but it's just when you're not doing anything sporty, you don't need rear wheel drive. Many car enthusiasts will hate to admit it, but it's true. You don't need all-wheel drive or rear-wheel drive if you're not doing anything sporty. So we have stuff. It does not like fitting though. This is slightly smoother, I'll give it that much. Maybe it's just an update has done something to it. Ooh, I can go Quad Eco carbs. I could go mechanical fuel injection. It's a bit advanced though. I'm going to be a bit American. You get 4 carburetors, they're just garbage. But I do give you 4 carburetors. I'm that generous to package your car as such. I even let it rev to all the way to 3,900 RPM. How is that? How is that for not behaving like a diesel? I mean, hey, it still is a level of grunt. Look at all that torque. It's not power, it's a different beast to something powerful, but to make a huge amount of torque like it is, probably a lot of economy as well, and half decent power, I think this could work. We need dual exhaust, which are naturally going to free up the airways and enable me to have some more power running through. I think I'll keep shortcast as the exhaust technology. We want to keep this cheap, remember. Still, near 150 horsepower. I think you have to accept that it's not exactly a sporting 150 horsepower, and it comes on very lazily, but then that's just the way it is with this car. It's a lazy, lazy vehicle. Doo-doo-doo. Wibbly wobbly power curve. Deliver me to a high top speed. 10.7 seconds 0 to 60. I would say isn't too bad. It's making almost 150 horsepower though. It's because it's got a V8. I might just be expecting more, even though really it is one of the most hopeless V8s I've known. It's actually more hopeless than a lot of the old V8s in Forza that are older than this. So, nope, no suggestions yet as to what I should do. Anyway, 14 miles per gallon. But why is this? I mean, I have designed the engine with a strong focus on economy, so it shouldn't be like this, surely. There is one thing I could try. I could try making the engine a bit smaller and going to put injection on it and maybe a better exhaust system. That might help. So if we look at, where is it? Performance index is 107.5, I know that much. Fuel efficiency is 13.2. 13.6 now. Doo-doo-doo. It is slightly more efficient now we've dropped the engine size a litre and just gone with fuel injection. Although I think the power has also dropped quite a bit. So is it really a worthy trade-off? Probably not. I think that is answering my question then. What should I do? Well, keep the thing primitive and instead just put a huge V6 in it. Quad carburetor. So, what's the problem here? The engine is underpowered. Well, 25 horsepower. I kind of agree with you on that, actually, for once. Hey, there's something we can all agree on. 111.8. 112.8. Come on. Line up. And the magic will be the twinkling of the things and whatnot. 7-litre V6. Oh dear. If it's not too tall, it's too wide. Okay, this is a bit of a conundrum. I didn't think I would be building a French car with an American engine in such a way. I could put a massive inline four in, but that would probably explode. I wonder... So I can do it that way. Oh dear. Looks like I'm stuck to 6.5 litres with a V6. Maybe a bit more if I get a V8. The length comes a problem then. But not before I've got 7 litres of power out of it. Maybe I could go longitudinal? Nah, that wouldn't work. Not with VV6. I think 7.2. I think I can call that reasonably sized. I mean, it's a little on the large side. Only a little, though. You know, nothing too crazy. Then we can improve it with a direct acting overhead cam instead of the pushrod one. And I don't need fuel injection or anything. That's about as fancy as I'm going to go. Oh dear, direct acting overhead cam, that really pushed the size up, didn't it? It'll fit, just. Just about. But still. How about messing with this? 107. I don't know what to make of it. It still doesn't want the power to climb. It 4,200 there. It does hold the power for longer, but I don't think that's going to be enough. How about a dual exhaust system? That helps. That definitely helps. And the low revving nature means I don't have to have a massive exhaust either. I wonder if I could go cast log. Yeah, cast log, and it doesn't really affect it. Just because it's such a big lazy lump, it doesn't affect it if it's cast log or what, really. I think single exhaust as well, if I can get away with that. That is lighter and cheaper. Again, if I can get away with it. So I need a bigger single than I do duals, but it does work. This is an odd unit that I have created. I need 7.2 litres to barely make over 100 horsepower. I mean, what has become? What has become of my honest French car project? 4,800 RPM. So, we make a lot of torque. Not as much as I would like, though. But still, enough to lazily push this thing along the road. And that is really the entire personality. Just lazily moving along the road without a care in the world. For who you might be holding up behind you. 10 miles per gallon. Oh yes. Because we don't need miles per gallon where we're going. Understeer. I'm surprised, honestly. I'm surprised it doesn't go to understeer way back here. Right. How about medium? Nope. Okay. Do. Family Premium does like it. How about changing the engine's fuel injection? Pushrod does make it smaller. I know that much. There we go. Look at that. Put some good fuel injection on and the power's made back in no time. I wonder what that's done for the fuel efficiency though. Changing the head to an inferior one but putting the fuel injection on it. I mean, it isn't fancy. Besides having fuel injection, there's nothing fancy about this engine. And even so, the Americans were playing around with fuel injection back in the 1950s. So it's not like any of this is brand new by 1977. Try changing the ignition timing a bit. Yep, that will work. Ah, the fuel mixture. I could lower that. So, 169? This is too powerful for its own good. As the exhaust might just be too big, actually. It's almost 100mm. I think I'm better off just going with dual. And then making it smaller. Come on. So wait, was I making almost 200 horsepower of this and then I went and messed it up? No, it doesn't look like I were. Just my illusion. There we go. The muscle car of the French car industry. Transverse 7.2 litre injected V8. Still, the torque is even better now than it used to be. What's the miles per gallon from the new injected version? It's better as well as the power. I'm liking where this is going. We're gonna go lean. We're losing power by doing such, remember? But that is perfectly fine. This is not built for speed. I am able to do that. I'm not even losing that much power, if I'm honest. But what for? What is the gains? Well, I think it's obvious it's running at 3,900 RPM. And that is 3,900 RPM that's giving me solid power. Now it's at 4,000. Ooh, where am I going with this, I wonder? Why does my monitor look interlaced? The many things I could think about. And I end up thinking, why does my monitor look interlaced? Maybe I should be thinking about things. I don't know. You get enjoyment from whatever you get enjoyment from, I guess. The cast log exhaust. Because it's so advanced and sophisticated and all. Wait. Maybe I'll even get to drive my vehicle today. Lower the RPM. Yep. We like having that quite tight. And now what's the fuel economy? Well, 13.9, it's about as good as I've got, while also having fairly solid acceleration. I feel like it's as good as I'm going to get, because my miles per gallon on my cars is pretty hopeless, really. Even though this is heavy, it's showing good potential. Yep, 112.6. Or 111.6 now. 112.8. 113.2. There we go. Best to check the tyres are appropriate for what you're doing. Since the car has got fairly considerably heavier and more powerful, it is good to ensure that the tyres are up to that job of dealing with the power. Here we have a car that was not up to the job until just recently when I adjusted it. Family Premium, eh? It is a bit heavy for a Family Premium. Do I want alloy wheels to just make it light, but then heavy? Nah, it's too heavy to really have any benefit, that's the trouble. Does it see any advantage in an under tray? Not that I can notice. So, how about standard? No, premium. The phonograph looks to be the best one for the job. 63% of the weight is at the front. Well, yeah, it's because of that engine. It's not what you typically have in your European estate. But in this case, it is. Now let's see if anyone's commented on my engine. This engine is so weak. Nope, no comments. Okay. So, I could lower it some. Let's lower it some then. Actually, I think I did change the suspension, so it's probably best to set it for comfort again to make sure the settings are vaguely correct. I changed the suspension and then I changed the engine and stuff. The aero is surprisingly good for something that's not had any kind of aerodynamic engineering at all. I had, I think, a 50s car I built once, and it did actually have positive downforce front and rear. It was pretty amazing, even though I hadn't engineered it like that. It was just sheer luck, I guess. Other body I used, one of the two. Let's use a grille to make the front look a bit less plain. Ooh. I wonder how this will look once I've shapendified it. Nope, that is just strange. I can't quite get it working as I would like. Ooh. Excellent. I can do that. Doesn't this just look so 1980s though now? So generic General Motors mobile. Right, bring you forwards. I think it is a bit too American though. But then it has still got the hydropneumatic suspension, which is a distinctly French feature. I feel like I should have a bonnet ornament, although that might be too American. Have we got bonnet ornaments even to play with? I don't see any. Is that an Iron Man badge? I don't know. There we go. The bearded Iron Man. Yeah, sure, just put the Iron Man there where he's covered up. There's going to be more chrome anyway, so it'll show up better. I do need some turning lights, indicators, whatever you call them. There we are. That is kind of a turning thing. I don't know what to make of this though, because it looks horrible, but it looks good at the same time. Yeah, there we go. Number plate done. Yeah, that is really just not trying. I might change that later. Who knows? Now, what to do? Free suspension. That is not exactly the premium choice. So, it can't tow anything. I get that much. How about the springs and dampers? Nope, 1.6. Try and make this work, but fail badly actually. The car's handling would tend towards understeer. It would because I built it, and it's got that huge V8 in the front, sending power to the front. How about I try and adjust the grip? How about the differential even? I wonder. Sport compound, no. We're going to put some better drum brakes, or solid discs even. That's interesting. Solid discs on the rear actually have a much more effect on the car than having them on the front. But I feel it's a very strange decision to have drums on the front and solid discs on the rear. $123.6. There we go. Those brakes are pretty huge if you can just peek under there. I think I'm going to have to go with solid discs. As I say, it's not a performance car, but there's so much I have to do to make this controllable. As you see, that's how the performance points flew up for the market. Oh dear. Like, what am I meant to do, really? Vented discs, perhaps? I guess I have to. No, there's still not enough braking performance, so that is with pretty incredible brakes as well. And I don't just want to do that. Vented discs are fine as long as it works, but will they work? Maybe if I send more bias to the front, it will stop the problem. I don't want to make the wheels bigger either, that's another thing. If I make the wheels bigger, it makes the overall refinement worse, and I've got them quite big for the time already. 128.8, and then we just keep going up. I think it's pretty obvious now the rear's going to have to be solid discs in some capacity. So 290. There we go. That looks pretty decent. I mean, I've had to do more to the front brakes than I would have wanted, but it does now slow down, and that is definitely something I can say I like. The pad types are far worse though than I would like, and there's nothing I can really do about that. Because that's what the market desires, basically. Use the full brake size I'm allowed to use there. $33. Oh dear. So there we go. Rear brakes have much weaker brakiness going for them, and still it's not enough. I still need to adjust the front brakes so high to get anything out of them. $129.9. And there we go. I think I'm going to finish off for the time being. Just with a number plate sticking out like that. And what have I got? Oh yeah, the gearing. I think I'll just finish off some of the mechanicals now, and then I'll finish for the time being, and I will return another time. Not that I've really got any viewers on this stream. If I can even unlock the phone. I'll probably have 1 or 2 people watch it afterwards, after it's aired. Because that's usually how it goes. I mean, I might do a highlight thing of it, honestly. Depends how I feel. I could make a build of it in its own right. It is a decent vehicle, but it's not how I would normally record one of these. It is doing well in the category though. Amazingly, despite what this is, being a crazy conundrum of different cars thrown together. It's basically like some GM boat, a Citroen, and a Peugeot family estate, and probably also something Japanese like a Honda, because it's got the fully independent all-round suspension, like the Civic. For example, older Civics, they had double wishbones front and rear. It's also got a bit of that thrown in. It's a strange contraption. I somewhat like it though. Anyway, don't need to mess with that part too much. So 9.8 to 60. 9.9. Ooh, if I expand the gears to a certain extent, that is 10. Just trying to find the right balance here, really. And then up to 9.5. So that's probably about the best I can do with the gearing. It is an auto though. So 9.4 0 to 60 without a huge amount of power in a fairly heavy vehicle isn't bad. I mean, I know the torque has a lot to say for that, but still, remember, this is an automatic. It only makes 165 horsepower, and it still weighs over 1,500 kilograms. So, all things considered, that is quite an impressive performance. If only I could say the same about the economy. Nonetheless, gonna leave it here. I actually am done for today, and I'm going to say thanks for watching, and goodbye, until whenever I decide to do the next live stream.